Okay, so let's dive into all the stuff you sent over about TATANKA.
Yeah.
It's like this whole initiative trying to bring like music and AI and like social impact all together and all with this like focus on China. And they even want to bring in like indigenous knowledge.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I have to admit, I'm a little skeptical,
Okay.
but also like really curious to hear more.
Yeah, well, one of the things that's interesting about Tatanka is that it's not just focused on like developing AI for music.
Okay.
They're really aiming to use AI-generated music as a way to tackle some of the UN's Sustainable Development Goals.
Oh, wow.
So, things like improving education, reducing inequality, building global partnerships.
So it's like not just about making cool tunes, but
Exactly.
using those tunes to like actually make a difference.
Yeah,
That's ambitious.
it is.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, can you give us a quick rundown of what TATANKA actually is?
Sure. So it's a social impact initiative that's really using a blend of AI, music, arts, and education to try and make a real impact on those UN goals.
Okay.
But what makes them unique, I think, is their commitment to collaboration between humans and AI.
So it's not just about AI replacing human artists.
No, it's about humans and AI working together to create something new.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
We often hear about AI replacing jobs, but TATANKA seems to be taking a different approach.
Absolutely.
So why China?
Well,
What makes China the ideal location for this kind of initiative?
TATANKA sees China as a global leader in AI.
Okay.
They point to the government's investment in AI, the
Right.
skilled workforce, the amount of data being generated there.
Right.
But they also see like a cultural alignment with their own values of social responsibility.
So it's a strategic choice,
Yeah.
but also one that aligns with their vision of ethical and inclusive AI development.
Exactly.
But how exactly does this human-AI collaboration work in practice? Are we
Huh.
talking about robots playing instruments?
Not quite. They're building a dedicated facility, think rural and mountainous, powered by hydroelectricity.
Oh, wow.
They picture it as a hub where human musicians and AI will work side by side.
So like a physical space.
Yeah, a physical space, a place
Yeah.
where they can really come together and create.
And it's not just about music either, right?
Yeah, you're right.
This facility will also be a center for research, education, community engagement.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach.
And they're specifically looking to involve indigenous Chinese communities, which is fascinating.
Yeah, they want to learn from those communities, incorporating their traditions and knowledge into the project.
Okay.
They see it as a way to respect the land and ensure that their work is culturally sensitive.
It's a very different approach than a lot of tech initiatives we see.
It is.
It's definitely a unique combination of elements.
Yeah.
But how do they plan to make all of this happen? Where does the music part come in?
They've coined this interesting phrase, the Airbnb for AI music.
Okay, now that's got my attention. What exactly do they mean by that?
Think of it like this. Airbnb connects people with unique places to stay.
Right.
TATANKA wants to connect people with unique AI-driven music experiences and creative spaces.
So people could actually witness, maybe even influence how AI is contributing to music creation.
Exactly.
That's wild.
It's about demystifying AI
Actually,
and showing its potential as a tool for human expression.
not just as a replacement for human artists.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But are they just going to launch this huge project all at once?
Well,
It seems like there would be a pretty steep learning curve for everyone involved.
you're right, and they're aware of that.
Okay.
They've actually laid out a phased approach to building TATANKA.
Okay.
They're calling it a tempered radical strategy.
Yeah, tempered radical, huh?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
It sounds like they're acknowledging that this is a big change, but they're not going to rush into it blindly.
exactly.
So tell me, what do these phases look like?
Okay, so
How are they going to take this from an idea to a reality?
they're starting with smaller experimental music projects.
Okay.
Think of it as dipping their toes into the water, testing the possibilities of this human-AI collaboration.
So kind of like a proof of concept,
Exactly.
showing people what's possible before jumping into the deep end.
Right.
What happens next?
Then they'll gradually ramp up the interactive and collaborative aspects,
Oh,
bringing in more human artists, letting them experiment with the AI tools.
and really pushing the boundaries of co-creation.
Exactly.
And I imagine the final phase is where that Airbnb element comes in, right? People
Mhm.
from all over being able to experience and even contribute to this AI-powered music scene.
That's the vision.
Wow, it's really a fascinating roadmap.
It is.
But all this talk of cutting-edge technology and global impact makes me wonder who's actually going to make this happen.
Mm-hmm.
What about the investment side of things?
Sure.
Are they looking for partners?
They've specifically mentioned opportunities for Chinese investors and institutions.
Like,
They see this as a chance for China to showcase its commitment to ethical and inclusive AI development.
so it's not just about the music.
No.
It's about China's role in shaping the future of AI globally.
Absolutely.
But they're not limiting themselves to China, are they?
No, they see this as a model that can be applied globally.
Okay.
They believe TATANKA's approach to human-AI collaboration could transform fields beyond music education, healthcare, even scientific research.
It's a bold vision, that's for sure.
It is.
And it raises a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I'm particularly curious about those potential concerns we touched on earlier.
Okay.
You know, people being hesitant about AI and music, the learning curve, things like that.
Sure.
How are they addressing that?
Well, it's understandable that people might be skeptical,
Yeah.
but I think TATANKA's addressing those concerns head on.
Okay.
They're taking a cautious, deliberate approach, emphasizing transparency and collaboration every step of the way.
So it's not just about the technology. It's about the human element, about making sure everyone feels comfortable and included in this process.
Absolutely.
But let's be honest, there are bound to be challenges.
Of course.
This is uncharted territory.
It is.
Okay, so we've laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
We know what TATANKA is, where they're headed, and why they've chosen China as their launching pad. But the real question is, can they actually pull this off?
That's the question, isn't it?
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And I think it's important to acknowledge that TATANKA is like walking a tightrope.
Oh, really?
On the one hand, they need to be ambitious enough to attract investment and attention.
Right.
But on the other hand, they need to be realistic about the challenges
Yeah.
and manage expectations.
It's a balancing act, for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, like, what are some of the biggest hurdles they'll need to overcome? You mentioned ethical complexities, but, like, what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, one of the key issues is ensuring that AI is used responsibly in the creative process.
Right.
There's a fear among some that AI will simply replace human artists,
Yeah.
leading to a loss of jobs and a homogenization of music.
It's like that age-old debate, are machines coming for our jobs?
Exactly.
But TATANKA seems to be saying, no, it's not about replacement, it's about collaboration.
Exactly. But that collaboration raises a whole host of questions.
Like what?
For example, who owns the copyright to music created by an AI?
Oh, that's interesting.
How do we ensure that both human and AI contributors are fairly compensated?
Those are really important questions.
They are.
And it sounds like there's a lot of legal and ethical groundwork that needs to be laid before this Airbnb for AI music can actually become a reality.
Absolutely. And then there's the question of artistic integrity.
Okay.
Some critics argue that AI-generated music lacks the soul,
The soul.
the emotional depth of music created by humans.
So how do you convince skeptics that AI can actually enhance human creativity, not diminish it?
Yeah, that's a challenge.
It seems like TATANKA has its work cut out for it.
I think they're betting that the best way to address these concerns is through transparency and education.
Okay.
By opening up the process, by letting people see how AI is being used in a collaborative way, they hope to demystify the technology and build trust.
It's like they're saying, don't be afraid of AI. Come and see how it works, and let's create something amazing together.
Precisely. And they're also emphasizing the importance of diversity and inclusion.
Okay.
They want to ensure that their platform represents a wide range of voices and perspectives, both human and AI.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's talk about the practical side of things.
Sure.
They're building this ambitious facility in China. But what exactly will it look like?
So,
what kind of technology and infrastructure will be needed to make this Airbnb for AI music work?
they've actually released some pretty detailed plans for the facility.
Oh, wow.
They're picturing a state-of-the-art complex nestled in a mountainous region powered by renewable energy. It's not just about music studios. They're also planning research labs, educational spaces, and even performance venues.
Wow, it sounds like a futuristic creative campus.
It does.
But building something like that must require a massive investment.
It will.
Have they talked about how they're going to fund this project?
They've mentioned a mix of private investment, government funding, and partnerships with universities and research institutions.
Okay.
They're really casting a wide net, looking for collaborators who share their vision.
And they're specifically targeting Chinese investors, right?
Yes, they see this as an opportunity for China to showcase its leadership in AI,
Okay.
but they're also hoping to attract international partners, positioning TATANKA as a global hub for AI and music innovation.
So it's not just about building a cool music studio, it's about creating a global ecosystem.
Exactly.
But let's get back to the music for a moment.
Sure.
They keep using this phrase, tempered radical, but I'm still not quite clear on what that actually means in practice.
It's all about finding a balance between pushing the boundaries of innovation and ensuring that the technology is used responsibly.
Right.
They're not going to just unleash a bunch of AI on the music world and see what happens.
So it's a controlled experiment.
Yes.
A way to test the waters and see how AI can best be integrated into the creative process without disrupting everything.
Exactly. And they're very aware of the potential pitfalls.
Okay.
They've talked about the need for careful planning, ethical guidelines, and ongoing dialogue with stakeholders.
They're not just interested in creating cool music. They want to create a sustainable model for the future of music creation.
Right. It's about the long game.
It's refreshing to hear a tech initiative talking about sustainability and ethical considerations from the outset.
I agree. And they're not shying away from the tough questions either.
Okay.
They've acknowledged that there will be bumps along the way, that this is a journey of exploration and discovery, not a predetermined path.
That kind of humility and transparency is crucial when you're dealing with something as complex and potentially disruptive as AI.
Absolutely.
But speaking of disruption, how exactly do they envision TATANKA changing the music industry?
Well,
What's their ultimate goal?
they believe that TATANKA has the potential to democratize music creation, to make it more accessible and inclusive.
Okay.
They imagine a world where anyone, regardless of their background or technical skills, can use AI to create and share their own music.
So it's not just about professional musicians.
No.
It's about empowering everyone to express themselves creatively.
Exactly. They see AI as a tool for breaking down barriers, for fostering collaboration and innovation across cultures and continents.
It's a beautiful vision for sure, but let's be realistic.
Okay.
How do you convince established musicians and record labels to embrace this new model? The music industry isn't exactly known for its willingness to change.
You're right. They're not naive to the challenges.
Okay.
They know they'll need to build relationships, to demonstrate the value of AI, and to address concerns about copyright and compensation.
It's going to be a long and winding road, that's for sure.
It will be.
But I have to admit, I'm intrigued by their optimism and their willingness to take risks.
I am too. And I think their focus on social impact, on using AI to address global challenges, could be a key factor in their success.
Okay.
It gives them a purpose that goes beyond just making money or disrupting an industry.
It's about using technology to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Now, that's a message that resonates with me. But before we get too carried away with the feel-good vibes, I think it's important to address the elephant in the room, the potential downsides of this whole endeavor.
Okay, what are you thinking of?
Well, like, what about bias in the algorithms or the data they use to train the AI?
You're right.
Yeah.
And there are definitely some valid concerns that need to be considered.
Okay.
One of the biggest is the potential for bias.
Right.
AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on. And if that data reflects existing biases in society,
Yeah.
those biases could be amplified in the music that's created.
So it's not enough to just create a cool technology.
Right.
You need to ensure that it's being used in a way that's fair and equitable.
Exactly. And that requires careful consideration of the data sets, the algorithms, and the human oversight involved in the process.
So are they doing anything to address this?
They are. TATANKA has acknowledged this challenge and has stated that they're committed to working with experts in ethics and social justice to mitigate potential biases.
That's encouraging to hear.
It is.
But what about the potential for job displacement?
Sure.
We've talked about collaboration, but let's be honest, if AI can compose music, write lyrics, and even perform, what's to stop it from eventually replacing human musicians altogether?
It's a valid concern and one that TATANKA will need to address directly.
Okay.
They've argued that their focus on collaboration means that AI will augment human creativity, not replace it.
Right.
But ultimately, the impact on the job market remains to be seen.
It's a conversation we're going to be having across many industries as AI becomes more sophisticated.
Absolutely. And it's important to remember that technology is not destiny. We have a choice in how we develop and deploy AI.
Right.
We can choose to use it in ways that benefit humanity,
Right.
or we can allow it to exacerbate existing inequalities.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but about the values and principles that guide its development and use.
Precisely. And that's why initiatives like TATANKA are so important. They're not just pushing the boundaries of innovation.
Right.
They're also forcing us to confront these fundamental questions about the role of technology in society.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah, we have.
We've talked about the vision, the challenges, the potential benefits, and the potential downsides.
Mm-hmm.
But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to that core concept, the Airbnb for AI music.
Sure.
Can you paint us a picture of what that experience might actually be like for someone who walks into this facility in China?
Imagine walking into a space where the boundaries between the physical and digital worlds have blurred. You hear music being created all around you,
Okay.
a fusion of human and artificial sounds. You see musicians jamming with AI systems.
Right.
Their instruments wired into a network of algorithms.
It sounds almost magical, like stepping into a science fiction novel.
In a way it is,
Mm.
but it's not just about the technology. It's about the energy, the creative buzz, the feeling of being part of something truly groundbreaking.
So it's not just a music studio, it's an experience, a community.
Exactly. And that experience is designed to be interactive and inclusive.
Oh, okay.
You might find yourself participating in a workshop, learning how to use AI to create your own music. Or you might stumble upon a performance where a human vocalist is improvising with an AI orchestra.
Wow, that's amazing. But what about those who can't physically travel to China? Will there be a way for people around the world to participate in this Airbnb for AI music remotely?
They've hinted at plans to create a virtual platform,
Okay.
a sort of online portal that will allow people to experience TATANKA from anywhere in the world.
So they're going to try and replicate this experience online.
Yeah, they envision live streaming concerts, interactive workshops, and even collaborative songwriting sessions where people can contribute remotely.
So it's not just about a physical space, it's about creating a global community connected by a shared passion for music and a curiosity about AI.
Exactly. They're building a bridge
Yeah.
between the physical and digital worlds, between cultures and continents, between human and artificial intelligence.
It sounds like they're really trying to create like something special, right? Something that goes beyond just the technology itself.
Yeah, definitely.
But with all this talk about AI and music, I'm curious, like, have they given any hints about the kind of music we might actually hear coming out of TATANKA? Will it like sound like anything we've heard before?
You know, they've been pretty tight-lipped about specific genres or styles,
Oh, really?
but they've emphasized that they're not trying to create like a particular sound.
Yeah.
They see TATANKA as a platform for experimentation,
Mm-hmm.
a space where the boundaries of music can be pushed and redefined.
So it's not about creating the next pop hit or mimicking existing genres.
Right.
It's about exploring new sonic territories, blending human creativity with AI's unique capabilities.
Exactly. They've talked about like the possibility of creating entirely new instruments, soundscapes that have never been heard before, and musical experiences that blur the lines between performer and audience.
Now, that's what I call pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
It makes me think about like the name they've chosen, TATANKA.
Mhm.
It's a powerful word, right?
It is.
Evocative of strength and resilience.
Definitely.
What do you think they're trying to convey with that name?
I think it speaks to their ambition and their belief in the transformative power of this project. You know, the buffalo or TATANKA was a symbol of abundance and interconnectedness for many indigenous cultures.
So it's not just a random name.
No.
It's a symbol that reflects their values
Yeah.
and their vision for a future where humans and AI coexist and create together.
Precisely. And they're not just paying lip service to indigenous wisdom either.
Okay.
They've actually consulted with indigenous communities throughout the development of TATANKA,
Oh, wow.
seeking their guidance and incorporating their perspectives into the project.
It's refreshing to see a tech initiative that's not just focused on the latest gadgets, but also on respecting traditional knowledge and cultural diversity.
It is.
But let's get back to the music for a moment.
Okay.
They've talked about making this experience accessible to people all over the world through a virtual platform.
Right.
What might that look like? Will it be like a virtual reality concert or something?
They haven't revealed all the details yet, but they've hinted at a multi-sensory online experience
Okay.
that will allow people to immerse themselves in the world of TATANKA.
Okay.
Imagine being able to explore the facility, virtually attending live-streamed performances, and even interacting with the AI systems remotely.
So like a digital version of that physical space.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like they're trying to create a virtual version of that Airbnb for AI music concept, breaking down geographical barriers and making this unique experience accessible to a global audience.
Exactly. They understand that not everyone will be able to physically travel to China.
Right.
So they're creating a way for people to participate and contribute from anywhere in the world.
It's fascinating to think about the potential impact of this project.
Yeah.
If they're successful, Could TATANKA actually change the way we think about music and AI?
I think it has the potential to be a real game changer,
Okay.
not just in terms of the music itself, but also in terms of how we approach creativity and collaboration in the age of AI.
It's like they're throwing down a gauntlet, right?
Yeah,
Challenging us to rethink the boundaries between human and artificial intelligence and to imagine a future where we co-create with machines in ways that are both innovative and inspiring.
they're asking us to embrace the unknown,
Hmm.
to step outside of our comfort zones and explore the uncharted territories of this new creative frontier.
Okay, so we've unpacked a lot of information about TATANKA,
We have.
but as we wrap up this deep dive, what are some of the key takeaways you hope our listener walks away with?
I think the biggest takeaway is that AI is not a threat to human creativity, but rather a tool that can enhance and expand our creative potential.
It's not about machines replacing humans.
No,
It's about humans and machines working together to create something new and beautiful.
exactly. And TATANKA is a testament to that belief. They're showing us that AI can be used in ways that are ethical, inclusive, and culturally sensitive.
And they're doing it with a sense of purpose and vision that's truly inspiring.
Yeah, it's exciting.
They're not just creating music, they're creating a movement, a community of artists, technologists, and dreamers who believe in the power of collaboration to shape a better future.
They're inviting us all to join them on this journey of discovery and co-creation, to explore the uncharted territories of AI and music, and to imagine a world where technology empowers us to express ourselves in ways we never thought possible.
So as we leave our listener to ponder all of this, I think the question that lingers is what kind of music will we create together in this future? What new sounds and experiences await us in this world where humans and AI dance in harmony? That's something for you, dear listener, to imagine.